All right, hi everybody. We're going to have our video today on section 1.6, which is about angles. So got a little vocab to start here. This is on page, what page here? 29 of your journal. So we're going to go ahead and work through that a little bit. So complementary angles, it's a pair of angles. So it's important it's a pair of angles that sum or total to 90 degrees. Supplementary angles, it's a pair of angles that have a sum or total of 180 degrees. Also, you can think of it as they make a line. Make a line or segment or something like that. Okay, the straight angle. Call that a straight angle. Okay, so I guess we would call this a straight angle, right? The line, that's your vertex. We say it's a straight angle. So these lines, this would be 180 degrees. And then two angles that would make 90. Picture, there's 90 degrees. This angle here and then this angle up here would total to 90 degrees. Adjacent angles, those are angles that are next to each other. Next to angles. So we'll look at that here in a second. A linear pair. Okay, so we have a linear pair of angles that are formed on a line. Look at a picture of that. Vertical angles, angles that are sort of across from each other. We'll look at a picture of that. Okay, so complementary angles, those are angles that total to 90 degrees. So angle one, the measure of angle one here, plus the measure of angle two would be 90. And for example, if we add 20 degrees and 70 degrees, if we put angle A and angle B together, like if we draw angle A right over here and add 20 degrees, then this whole angle will become 90. And these are complementary angles. Supplementary is the same thing. You can see they can sort of make a line when they're next to each other, or if they don't make a line, then they are supplementary, but you could draw angle D over here that has 65 degrees, and then they would make a line. So when I say up here that angles that have a sum or total of 180 that can make a line, that's if they are put together, okay? And that's what we call like a linear pair. So 3 and 4 would be angles that would make some sort of linear pair. We're gonna look at that in a second. So adjacent angles are angles that are next to each other. So in this case here, 5 and 6 are adjacent angle. They have a common vertex, right? They share that same point. Now these look like 5 and 6 would be supplementary, but just for example, they don't have to be like that. We could draw an angle like this and then draw another angle or maybe another ray off to the side here. This angle in here and this angle right here, these are adjacent angles. This one and this one in here, they're next to each other, okay? Non-adjacent, they don't have a common vertex. So adjacent angles have this common vertex point that they share right here. There's the common vertex. Okay. Linear pair and vertical angles. Linear pair are just angles that form a line, okay? So like 1 and 2 form a line. Linear pairs, if they form a line, they are supplementary. Because a line has a total of 180 degrees from here to here. So linear pairs are supplementary, but we can have supplementary angles like up here that are not linear pairs, okay? So that's just something to point out. It's just a little vocab. And vertical angles are angles that are opposite or across from each other. So 4 and 5 are vertical angles, and 3 and 6 are vertical angles. Okay, so vertical angles, if I draw another picture here, if I have intersecting lines or segments or rays, whatever they are, at this intersection, this is going to be the vertex of a few angles. This angle over here and this angle over here, those are going to be vertical angles, and same things with the ones I'm about to mark in purple. So these two over here in purple are also vertical angles, and that vertex is that point in the middle, okay? So let's just do a little bit of practice here. Name the pairs of adjacent and complementary angles. So adjacent means we have to find angles that are next to each other. And complementary means we have to find a sum of 90 degrees. So let's take a peek here. What do we see? Adjacent, complementary. So they have to have both. They have to have both. Okay. So I have 15 and 75. I know that 15 plus 75 is 90 degrees. So what does that tell me? That tells me that this angle here, POT, so we know that angle POT and angle TOS, angle TOS. They are next to each other and they add to 90. So this is one pair of angles that are adjacent and then also complementary angles, okay? And I'm trying to scan through here and see if I see some other ones. Okay, so let's just do another one here. Non-adjacent supplementary angles. So non-adjacent means not next to each other. Supplementary though, that means they total to a 180 degree sum. So like, for example, I see 105 and 75 over here. Those are supplementary, but they are next to each other, so they don't count. So we can't necessarily use those. However, I could use this 75 degrees, which is angle ROQ. So angle ROQ, that's 75 degrees. And I can use it with this 105 over here, which is angle LJM. So angle LJM, whoop, not BM. These two, 75 plus 105 is 180 degrees. So they are supplementary. They are not next to each other, so those would count. That's an example of something like that. Find the angle measure. A is a complement of B. So A is a complement of angle B. So what does that mean? That means that the measure of angle A plus the measure of angle B has to be 90 degrees. They total to 90. So if this one is 36, that means the measure of angle B would be 90 minus 36, which is 54 degrees. So the complement of that is 54 degrees. C is the supplement of angle D. So if C is the supplement of angle D, then we know angle D is 117. Supplements add to 180. So the measure of angle D plus the measure of angle C has to be 180. So if I know this one's 117, to get the measure of angle C, we need to take 180 and subtract off 117, which is 63 degrees. So that is the supplement of 117. Okay, so let's try to find the measure of each angle here and then kind of wrap some things up for a second. So we'll do both, I guess. Okay, these two angles, this one in here and this one in here in purple, they are complementary. And how do I know that? Because they add to 90. That little box means 90. So this angle over here plus this angle over here has to total to 90. So this angle plus that angle has to be 90 degrees. So if I kind of color code for a second, this blue plus this green, here's my green angle, my blue angle's over here. So I have my blue color, green color. If I add those together, I get 90. So I'm going to take 10x plus 2, 22, sorry, 10x plus 22 plus, that's my first blank. Second blank is going to be 7x plus 34. That's going to be 90 degrees. And we can go ahead and solve for x, combine some like terms. 10x and 7x, that is 17x. 22 and 34 is 56. That's total to 90. And then you can subtract 56 and you get 17. This might be the one we do. We might not do the other one, but I'll set it up. 90 minus 56 is 34. And when you divide by 17, you get x equals 2, which is great, but it says find the measure of each angle. So you got to take 2 and substitute it back in to these expressions. So 10x times, so 10 times 2 plus 22, that's 20 plus 22, that is 42 degrees. So that's the one angle. And then if I take 7 times 2 plus 34, that's 14 plus 34, I get 48 degrees. So the two angles we were missing are 42 and 48. And the next problem here, these two angles, they make a line, so they are supplementary. So this angle plus that angle has to be 180, and we can fill in what those are. That is 6x minus 5, 12x plus 5. Combine like terms, 6x, 12x make 18x, 5 and negative 5 make 0. So that is 180, and if you divide by 18, you get x equals 10. And if you substitute this back in, again, it wants the measure of each angle, substitute 10 back in, 6 times 10 minus 5, that's going to be 60 minus 5, so 55 degrees, which is okay because it looks like an acute angle. And then 12 times 10 plus 5 be 120 plus 5 be 125 degrees, okay? And then finally, identify the linear pairs that include angle 1. Linear pairs for this one. Here's angle 1, which would make a line with which ones? Line, linear. So 1 and 4, they make a line, and 1 and 2 make a line. Identify vertical angles. Vertical angles are ones that are across from each other. So 4 and 2. And then 1 and 3, and then 5 and 8. We have 6 and 9, and then 10 and 7. Those are angles that are across from each other. And then the question is, are 6 and 7 a linear pair? The answer is no, because 6 and 7, angle 6, angle 7, do not form a line. Okay, so a little bit of vocab there and some intro and refresher on angles. So hope you have a nice day. We'll see you soon.